so complete in itself, so unrelated to our petty concerns on this planet. Not in the painting of the Bushman, not in the ecstasies of Hildegard von Bingen, not in the ravings of Mandaean ecstatics. Human spiritual experience never got this deep, never tore open this doorway. And yet what? It's a long toke away for an ordinary human being. How could something that titanic and beautiful and cosmic and alien be kept secret, when what we do is we seek in all corners, in all times and places, for the bizarre, the outre, the unthinkable? We're always turning over rocks, secret teachings, ancient cities, buried ruins, lost tribes, you name it. Well then, here is this thing which is like the absolute quintessence of what all those things are aiming for. More stunning than the rise of Atlantis from the Atlantic seaboard is a token of DMT. More appalling than the arrival of alien starfleets in the skies of our planet. And yet, it's here. It's here. And I don't often invoke it. I mean, for me to talk about it is to invoke it because it's weird to talk about it, because it reminds me that we don't know what we're doing at all. That we sit in rooms discussing all this stuff, and a war rages, ignorant armies clash by night, that whole thing. But this extraordinarily powerful thing, the depth of which, the measure of which is so hard to take, lies very near.
That's a good question. Have you made, say, millions of dollars?
No.
Are you a rich man?
What do you mean rich? What do you mean?
You have a lot of possessions? A lot of money in the bank?
How you shall make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
Buenas. Gotta hit that unmute button, eh? Gotta hit that unmute button. Opinion. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. You can tell by between last night and today. I still haven't sorted out this noise gate. I know it's cheesy, but hit the like button for the algo. It probably is a necessity. It's probably necessary that we request people like, subscribe. Hey guys, like, subscribe, share, all of that gubbins. The Bowie. Morning, Bobster, Rocky. I like this one that Leslie always does. Leslie always does this vibe. I'll try it. I feel like a footballer after just punting right in the top corner, or run to the crowd, like, you know what I mean? Like, I used to have a recurrent dream that I played for Hibs. It was a bad dream. Like, you ever have a dream when you're a kid and you get that dream and you have the same dream over and over? I used to have this dream that I played for Hibs. Oh, what's happening here? We've got some We've got a chink of reality. Hold on, I'm going to disappear for 1 second. I'm still here. Oh, am I? Yeah, I'm still here. I'm looking at the wrong place though. I can't see what's happened. Actually, that's a bit weird. What side is that on? I have to get what side it is. I might have to come back to that. Oh, I might have fixed it. Or was that my... Anyway, I'm back here. Hiya. I've made it worse. That'll do. Sounds more like a nightmare. How dare you? Who is here? Is there a Jambo in the house? We've been infiltrated by Jambos. Morning, everybody. Present and reporting for duty. Love it. Morning, Sky Blue. Buenos dias, comrade. Morning, folks. Morning, amigos. And what about that platform that's causing catastrophic meltdown amongst liberals at the minute? X marks the spot. Is anybody there? I better go and have a wee look. Because see if you're on it. Same vibe, 21 viewers. Is anybody there? Aye, I ken yous are there and that. Right, who's on X? Reveal yourselves. 21 of yous. Present and correct. Noisy Parker. You're keeping the platform alive. If it wasn't for you, I'd have pulled the plug on that. I still haven't sorted out my TikTok stream. I might try and do that today. I've honestly not had a minute. Believe it or not. I've not had a minute to program anything. But such is life. Who was all here? Up the dawn. Listen, it's just turned this into a football rammy, like, you know. A long suffering Hybie here. I know it's terrible, isn't it? It's madness. What has Hibs completed football in 2016? To be honest, I've hardly been back since then. After COVID, that was it. I had a season ticket for about 20 years, and then that was it. But, right, hold on a wee sec. Let me know if any of these levels are. Let me know if any of these levels are a problem for anyone. Feels a bit louder than usual, but could be wrong. Right. Okay, so it's all been a bit mental. I thought I'd probably try and I thought I'd try and keep it. Alan Parley, it's hostage has returned. I need to play some of Hostage's music. I'll try and do that. It'll probably be next week at this point. I've gave the game away. I might be back next week. I just need to catch my breath for a few things. Right, here we go. I tell you what, sound good. Aye, the sound is good. Right, no bother. Cheers, folks. It's hard to tell. One man band here. So yesterday, we did that. I did that wee evening slot just because of the kind of outrageous situation that happened. That was exposed yesterday. And I don't think that we should particularly let up on it. I don't want to get too heavy about things today. Will the sun come out today? What's Hannah saying? Israel specifically, yeah, they did. Right. I mean, here's the thing. We might as well. We can't avoid this. We shouldn't avoid it. Like, you know. Israel specifically targeted 2 newborn twins, their mum and Nan. They waited until the man had left to murder his entire family. 2 newborn twins. Let me just reiterate the word newborn to you. Why is the world not going fucking loopy about this? Where's the rage? Where? Well, you see, it's important to maintain diplomatic relations with the people that are doing this. and to give them the finest of Scottish hospitality. At least that's Scotland's position on this matter. Wow, what a legacy. As discussed, this is us on What the X yesterday. The Angus Robertson meeting is bad enough, but what is far more troubling is how she leaked the picture, knowing the discontent it would sow. That our government are so easily played by Israel is far more serious an issue. Resign, Robertson. Yes, I would agree with that. Well, I would agree with that, wouldn't I? Death to the IDF. Well, we couldn't. This was the. If anybody was aware, how can I tell you what? 18,994 unread emails is pure giving me the fear. I know. I was going to say something there, but I won't. I don't want to appear like a misogynist. Some thoughts should be best kept to yourself. You were... What's this? This may interest you. Bad Bolshevik. This may interest you. 2 weeks... Scott James. Who's Scott James for? 2 weeks before... Is that music not too loud, everybody? It sounds louder than usual. But maybe it's just me. Sorry, I've made it louder. Right, see, I'm not being funny, right? But my computer is really doing my nut in at the minute. It's partial to all kinds of weird behaviour. Maybe the Zion Nazis have infiltrated my my media bunker. All good, right? Cheers, folks. I'll trust you on that. 2 weeks before the Edinburgh Fringe kicked off, I took 150 custom-made Billy and Tim bollard covers, which I paid £35 plus VAT each for. $7,500 in total to Edinburgh to market our 4 weeks worth of shows at the Edinburgh Fringe. Well, right, okay. What's this? You brought your Ouija culture here and now you want to complain about it, right? Well, let's find out. They may have a legitimate complaint. As an experienced commercial theatre producer, I knew that these 150 bollard covers would help sell the tickets we needed for our Fringe run. My plan was to then redeploy the bollard covers after the festival, as they aren't Fringe specific, around the various venues that we are touring into. That seems pretty reasonable, I suppose. A week before the Fringe began, a private company contacted me to inform me that they had taken all of my bollard covers down. The company also informed me that if I wanted to advertise in Edinburgh as part of the Fringe, that I would have to pay them to do so. Is this out of hand, by the way? I didn't get it. I've got a wee bit of... Stop liking your tweets when you're on air. I don't know about that, Doreen. I think you should like them more. I would have to pay them to do so. The company were offering on their website their own bollard covers at a cost of £135 plus VAT. That's an extra £100 per bollard cover. The $7,500 investment that I had made in 150 bollard covers would now cost me an additional $22,500 if I went with the exact same products other than the approved logo from this company. As I had already committed £7,500 to my own bollard covers, I couldn't afford to spend an additional £22,500 on the new 150 bollard covers. I didn't know that this is where we would be starting the day, but you know, why not, eh? It's a bit more of a lighter note than the relentless murder of children. Let's go to the relentless murder of culture at the hands of capitalist bastards. I decided to redeploy my generic bollard covers, redeploying generic bollard covers to other areas in Scotland, where they could help promote my other tour dates. I also reluctantly ended up spending $9,000 on other advertising with the said companies. The same materials used were quoted to me from 2 other print companies that I normally use at a cost of $3,000. That's a markup of $6,000. I raised my concerns about the extremely high markup on the fringe advertising to the company themselves, who it seems have a monopoly on the prices they charge, as there is no other competition, as they have the exclusive rights to marketing at the fringe. I do know about this. I do actually know a bit about this, just because of some of the conversations that I had last year with some of the boys that were paid to see if you deface a poster at the fringe. It's like a fucking fate worse than death. It's like a massive criminal issue. It's like, you know, if you draw a cock or something on a picture, like, you know, you can get fined about 10 million quid. Oh, we've got some fucking Zionazzi twat bag popping up. I then spoke to Matt Lord from the Edinburgh Fringe Society, who acknowledged my concerns and admitted that I wasn't the only producer who had raised concerns about the incredibly high prices to advertise at the Fringe via this company, who are the only company acts can use, which I believe is out of hand, but I could be wrong about that. I contacted oh, wait a minute, right? Alright, I thought it was going to go on for ages, right? I contacted a journalist at a major newspaper to see if they were interested in my story, and he never replied to my messages. After doing a feature on our show and chatting on my DMs. Today I just discovered that the newspaper has published an article in which it states the company who charges 135 plus VAT plus 35 plus VAT product work hard to be as sustainable as possible, while also being affordable and accessible to artists. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. We, the producers, acts, are already having to deal with ridiculous accommodation prices on commute on the bus, trains, when they are running Facebook advertising leaflets and charge to hand them venue charges, registration fees, and of course our wages for our cast members for the month, paying way over the going rate for things like bollard covers. Just seems like another kick in the head for producers who are already struggling to afford the costs of bringing a show to Edinburgh. Unleash your Fringe. Yeah, it's right, I see bollards cover. It's a total racket. I tell you something, people need to realise this. So who's this guy? I'm going to tell you how you are getting ripped off here. Scott James. I'll follow him back, right? So what Scott James doesn't maybe realise, which I'll maybe try and compose I'll try and compose a quick tweet whilst we're on a real time. What a load of bollards, Sue Bollard. I'll tell you what, right? Whilst I compose this tweet, right, I will play. I'll stop this. I'll play this, right. I remember this tune actually. I made a brilliant, if I don't mind saying so myself, I made a cool edit with this, but in the wake of the George Floyd killing. Not that that's supposed to. It makes sense to me. Who's messaging me constantly? I must admit, this guy. I mean, I have limited sympathies for this guy because he's brought some Ouija culture to the Fringe, and he's spent a lot of money on it. And like, part of me is kind of pleased that he's out of pocket, but the other part of me is, or mischievously amused rather, with your fucking old firm madness. But I don't know. I've not even seen his show. Maybe his show's great. Or maybe I might be being a bit of a cunt about that. Me, I can't. Never. This one's for okay. Which one is it?
See that little the one by the post box? Here's another one.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, written using an oil, just stop oil. Written using an oil-based marker pen. Whilst I compose this tweet, I'll pause this a second, right? Whilst I compose this tweet, I'll play this track for, what's the guy's called? What's his name? Scott James Kyle, right? Hold on a minute. Why is nothing seems to be working this morning? I need an assistant. I need a digital assistant. Why is it not going over there? Look. Just hold on a minute, right? Look. All I see. See that there, by the way? See that there? That I went there. That was me. I filmed that on my iPhone. I went away up. Where was it again? It was away like. It was up north. But it was a cool place. It was like. I feel terrible. I should know where that is. My mate even lives there. I've forgotten the name of the place. I'll go and look on a map in a minute. I'll find out where it is. Right, hold on a second. Right here. Right, where is this? Right, Scott James Kyle. Oh, right, this one's for you. Right, Weavy Stonder, Tonwa. Right, play this, and I'll compose a tweet.
At the next junction, turn right. Straight on, 200 yards. When you get to the roundabout, do a left. When you get to New Cross Gate, go backwards. See that little hedge over there? Go around the corner of that. That's right, keep going. Now, see that woman on the left? Yeah, the one by the post box. Yeah, follow her. When she turns left, you stop, look in the window. Right. Did you see it? Yeah. Now go in and get it. Now, you gotta be quick. I want you to run down the M1. Right? Stay in the central reservation. Look out, there's a bollard. Here's another one. Here's another one. Look out. It's a bollard. Here's another one. Look out. It's a bollard. Here's another one. Look out. It's a bollard. 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 Right. Now, when you come to the flyover, I want you to get into that red car. That's it. Nice motor. Now, don't push it. Maybe about 55. I want you to get the maximum capacity out of the fuel tank. That's it. Now. Right, go to the boot of the car. Open the boot. Yeah, the button's down there. Right. Stick your right hand in. Stick your left hand in. Grab it. That's it. I know it's heavy. Pick it up. Now, hold it above your head and start. Put it back. I saw you.
That was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. I played the wrong one. So there you go. That's why I need an assistant. Where's the other one? The other one where it's like going, there's a bollard. There's another one. There's another one. It's a bollard. It must have been. I think it's the remix. I knew I should have clicked the remix. But the remix is like 8 minutes long. I was like, can I play fucking 8 minutes? Anyway, while I went away, I sent a tweet because it's fucking true, right? What people don't know is, although I'm Mr. Bastard of the Fringe, I also fucking know it. I ken it inside out. I've even been in the belly of the beast. I've been involved with one of the main guys, the biggest, richest guy in the Fringe. In 2012, I got asked to basically curate and work on this new venue thing that was a disaster, that a local businessman, a good guy, but he got involved with these Fringe twats. And it would have been great, but everything was like fucked up from the start. But it gave me, I already had, in fact, interestingly enough, that was when I wrote, mind I said it was 2012. That may have been a significant factor that motivated me to write that polemic, because I saw right in the inner sanctum. Anyway, this Scott James Kyle guy, I've just quoted him. I've said, heads up, by the way, this at Edinburgh Fringe has the lowest numbers of visitors in memory, because that's true. The town is very quiet, especially for the festival. Scarily quiet in places. The West End is like last night. You know, the West End was like what it used to be like on a Sunday when you went up the town. You know, the monopolisers have managed to get everybody into like just these concentrated spaces now. You know, and that's where your festival is. It's fucked. They've completely fucked it. But the thing that I noticed this year, straight off the bat, the thing I was like, this is interesting. I have never seen so many posters for shows. So they're rinsing the artists and the producers, and they're going, yeah, we got all this stuff. So they're obviously getting everybody to shell out. Now the people, the out of hand folk, I think it was like £1 million odd or something that they got for these big ones that have got I can't mind now, but look, it's a lot of money, and it's all sewn up, and the council are at it, and the people that are getting screwed are the artists and the producers or whatever. So this Billy Noah Tim Scott James Kyle guy, he is getting ripped off, but everyone's getting ripped off, because if we've got lower visitor numbers, why have we got, you know, they're obviously getting folk to spend more money on advertising, so we've got all these advertising spaces and that. I mean, the amount of advertising for the Fringe and the festival, it's crazy. I've never seen advertising like it, but it's all official advertising. Now, traditionally, as folk will remember, it used to just be a bit of a free for all. You know, that's, you know, another thing about it is that's what kind of made it charming. That's what they have cleansed and sanitised every last aspect of the Fringe that made it cool, right? The whole point was that, you know, you would go to a boozer or something in kind of like March, and you would still see some poster for some Raj Fringe show somewhere that someone had managed to put up, but it was organic. It just wasn't about, everyone wasn't about like, no, you can't do that, you've got to have a permit to do that, or that space is, we've bought that space already, you can't put that there. No rogue advertising and stuff. Kettling, aye, that's a good term for it. Aye, that's a good term. That's exactly what it is like, you know. So I was basically saying that it's the lowest numbers of visitors in memory, the most concentrated areas of commerce by the main players, and more posters and advertising for shows in the history of the event. You're all getting ripped off to fuck. Now, I don't have any empirical evidence for that, but I have my own. I've got my own oils. I see, and I ken I'm right. What's this guy saying? Oh, he's retweeted it. Right, cool. there you go. See, this guy's on it. Posters outside the like that is crazy. Like exactly like all of this bollocks. So they've been selling advertising. Aye, out of hand. This is these fuckers, right? They've been selling advertising. They've obviously done some deal with the council or something. But he's bang on with this. Nobody is coming from these places. That if you've got some advertising for some silly fucking triple-barreled idiot with her show about her period, that's from fucking like, you know what I mean, Hammersmith or something, or Dulwich, or fucking like Upper Kensington Rise, and she's got a fucking poster for her fucking hemoglobin show at Muirhouse. How many folk are going to turn up to that? Like, you know, nobody. Fucking load of shite, like, you know. What's this? What's this in response to? Aye, alright. That was that Leon Russo. Yeah, fuck off. Douglas Hall. Yeah. Are you hostages? There's a human being behind that, but it's definitely a paedophile. Anybody. This is basically that's the cranium of a paedophile. Definitely. I mean, if you were a child and you saw that, your entire sort of physical structure would start to fear that, wouldn't it? Like, you know what I mean? He follows me as well, you know. You're getting unfollowed, you fucking weirdo cunt. Like, fuck off. Right. Anyway. It's a racket designed to extract. Beldam Lascar there. A very nice chap. Beldam's one of these guys that's a sort of local guy. And he's one of those people who, he's probably passed me in the street, or I've passed him, and he's never let on. Because I prefer him as his sort of online avatar. There's quite a few people like that. Who have got they've got like a picture of something, and that's how I like them to stay. I don't actually want to meet them in reality. I don't want, you know, it'll ruin it for me, like, you know. 10:30. Where are we at? What's this guy saying? Or putting the exact same posters right next to each other baffles me. Yeah, that's you're getting your money's worth there, like, you know. You're getting your money's worth there. Right. Still though, what you doing bringing this Ouija culture to the capital city of Scotland? Scott, this guy knows his stuff regarding the shenanigans going on with the Fringe and the festival. Well worth listening to. Look, mate, what's going on here? That's crazy. Look at, where is that down there? Where's that? Nonsense, eh? That's nonsense. My favourite show. I'm always better informed after watching it. What are you talking about this show? This non-scripted improvised chaos. This morning on non-scripted improvised chaos. I have these ideas, right? I'm like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. And then inevitably, it's about 5 minutes, but I'm like, I haven't organised anything, like, you know. Let's revisit what's Loki saying. This guy, Loki. I think Loki, I don't know if there's an artist currently around today. You know, what John Cusack's done, I've got profound admiration for John Cusack, because he's a man of significant stature, and he's put his humanity right there front and centre, and he's taken an incredibly principled stance on Gaza. And Cusack, you know, hugely, just an admirable position. When this whole thing started, it took a long time for people to kind of like get on, like recognise or you know, who were willing to kind of face the reality of what was going on. And there's lots of people that exist that populate the sort of culture and media sector who were very cowardly and you know. But anyway, Loki, I think I don't really know. I'd have to. He's just been this. I don't know how he really copes, to be honest. You know, his entire career has been woven with the Palestinian cause. He himself is Palestinian, I think, is he? And his commitment to telling their story and being the voice for them is just phenomenal, you know. And he's also an incredibly talented artist, you know. And I think that his devotion to this cause consistently has just been phenomenal, you know. And he really deserves a great deal of respect. And I haven't seen any. It may exist, but I've never seen a really comprehensive interview and discussion with. Maybe if somebody knows of one, send it my direction. But massively impressed by this guy. Anyway, what's he saying? Canadian doctor Ben Thompson tells the story of a doctor in Gaza who was forced to strip naked and stand for 2 days by Israeli forces, urinating and defecating where he stood. He was only allowed then to treat his patients while naked. The degradation and humiliation that these people are inflicting upon Palestinians is historic. But then when you've dehumanised people to the extent that they have, I was thinking about this morning. I noticed, bear with me 1 second. I was conscious that when I did the discussion last night and I kind of went on one about how the SNP if I recall correctly, Scott Kyle was the man behind the successful Save Bathgate Regal Theatre from closure. Full reprieve to Scott Kyle then, a champion of the arts. And champion of the arts in West Lothian of all places. So there we are. Bring your Ouija culture. Just no pad. Didn't bring it past the Maybury roundabout, mate. No, respect to the man. Respect to the man. And I jest a bit, but I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how, you know, when I was kind of going off about how angry I was about and how I think, as we can see online, how incensed and disgusted and outraged people are, and rightfully so, with the Scottish Government for entertaining these bastards. And I think that you know, when we've been brought up, for most of us over a certain age, and for those of us who have had grandparents or whatever who were involved in the war or what have you, if you've had experiences and conversations in your life, you know, the message was, you know, throughout our sort of, you know, upbringing was, you know, never again was this whole kind of rhetoric, you know, never again. We could never allow this level of dehumanisation. We could, you know, our you know, our sensibilities, our moral sensibilities could never allow for this to occur again, you know. And we're now living in a time where, we're actually seeing almost essentially real time, almost live streamed, the genocide, the slaughter, the genocide, images of it, information, stories, tales of dehumanisation, incomprehensible levels of barbarity. And I know what's wrong. Sorry, that's why I was. See that? There's one button. I've got all my audio going through this SPDIF thing, and it went right. Okay, right. It was loud for me. It wasn't for you. So we had this whole thing. We've had this thing in our consciousness about the sense that we could never tolerate this level of outrageous slaughter that had been perpetrated during the war, against the Jewish people, primarily. And yet here we are, when we are aware, we're aware of what these scumbags are doing, and that is why. What's the most basic thing you can do under those circumstances, is not entertain people like that. And that's why, in my opinion, Angus Robertson's position is untenable. And with John Swinney's response to it, in my opinion, his position is untenable as well. They both need to go. What have I got here? They both need to go. And as I said yesterday, where are all the artists? There was a whole bunch of artists, a whole bunch of establishment artists were very keen to lay their pro-Palestinian credentials on the line earlier in the year. They made a big thing about how, look, here we are, we're all very important, and people who had basically said nothing about Palestine suddenly got up on the stage to read a few poems and talk about Palestine, because it gave them an excuse to get up on the stage and be seen. They hadn't mentioned anything about it, Some of these strange so-called working class writers of Edinburgh, who've never fucking working class. That's an interesting description for people that live in Willowbrae. Anyway, they hadn't said anything about Palestine, but suddenly they were up there talking about Palestine. Well, look, here we are now, hundreds of thousands slaughtered. An endless assault. Why are they not asking for the culture minister to resign? Is it because they didn't want to jeopardise their potential dollar of Creative Scotland? It's worth posing the question, is it not? Anyway, maybe they'll write some poems about it. Maybe that's what they'll do. I noticed there was some furore about arts funding as well the other day there. That's a shame. Right. Quarter to The Fringe no longer offers the spontaneous choice as before, when you could drop into a show at venues across the whole of Edinburgh for a few quid a time. Now concentrated in highly commercialised spaces, online bookings required, hijacked by the usual agency suspects. 100% correct, Eldel. 100% correct. The Fringe is a stitch-up. It's a stitch-up, And I feel for the people that come and lose money and that, who think it's still a place where it's going to offer them opportunity. I'm not convinced. Israeli media outlets estimate that the war has cost the Israeli economy nearly 250 billion Israeli shekels, or around 67.5 billion to date. I mean, if there's money like that, I mean, it's crazy, you know? It's crazy. So it is essentially, you know, it's a war of capital, really, you know? Who's saying this? Okay. We call for the immediate resignation of Angus Robertson as the Scottish Government's External Relations and Culture Minister following his meeting with the Deputy Israeli Ambassador to the UK, at which they discussed deepening Scottish relations with the Israeli government in fields including technology, culture and renewable energy. We also call on the Scottish Government to dissolve the Holyrood cross-party group Building Bridges with Israel, whose stated purposes includes to engage with Israel and build links based on business, culture and academia. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, you know. On the 19th of July, the International Court of Justice ruled that Israel practices apartheid and segregation and is an illegal occupation of the Palestinian territories. The ICJ stated there is a duty on all states not to cooperate with and to act against these practices. See, if we just stopped that sentence there, if that should be enough for Swinney and Robertson to go. You know, where are the artists? Where are the artists? Where are the calls? I've seen all these kind of like tactical kind of like spreading the blame around and like nobody actually coming out and saying, it's like, this is what this bourgeois nationalist project has done in this parochial little nepotistic landscape of Scotland. Yeah? It's connected too many fuckers too close to the state and they're compromised. Yeah? And they don't want to really just come out and go like, get to fuck, because they know what side their bread's buttered on. Like, so it's on you. So by extension to that, you are also complicit. You're also complicit, right? In a fucking genocide. It's like the street clean. I like this sort of like how we bounce from one thing to the other here. Did the street cleaners get a pay rise? Not noticing the bins overflowing. They got some sort of a deal, or they were away to discuss it. So it was temporarily held off. McAlpine wrote about it last night. He wants Robertson to resign and criticise the SNP for laundering Israel's reputation, but he's still trying to strategise for the SNP for 2026. Why? But McAlpine should just be like, look, that's it. They're done. Why would you want to give them any reprieve? You know. I don't think people really have quite grasped. You know, when I spoke to David, I said this before, right? When I spoke to David Jameson, he was on Contour. I didn't really like going back to like, oh look, here's me talking about stuff and that, right? But it's like, Bonnie, Prince
and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? It was like the SNP wouldn't be able to secure that vote now with the type of policy making they have and the way they go about their business. And it's party and people like Adam McVeigh and people always go on about this. They always kind of laud this element, you know.
I can't.
Healthy people, you know. It's become that to the extent that kind of Edinburgh in general gets stigmatised as being this
tempting to, you know.
So he did. He kind of.
And now,
let me see.
I think that the penny's beginning to drop a bit with some of these people, you know what I mean? So I think that's good. I think that's a good thing to see that happening, because we should be holding our political anger within the left towards Labour, towards what the Labour Party have become. and towards.
I can't. I'd have to look at it, but I remember I was making the point years ago. You know, I've been going on about this forever, but it's like people need to recognise what the political class are. They're not any different. They're interchangeable. Okay, so you need something. So that's why I still. As much as I think independence in its current form is completely smashed against the rocks, you know, it's not unsalvageable. But what that independence movement is, or like, because it's that thing, it's like, why, you know, I didn't want anything to do with people that are happy to sit down with Zionists. With Zionazis, is that just me? Am I peculiar? Is it me that's the weirdo here? Juxtapose. He wants to mitigate Anas Sarwar's win because he's going to just implement whatever Starmer does, and historically SNP were better. I don't think none of it makes any sense. The whole thing needs to be completely broken down and built back up, but that has to come from communities. So that has to come from places where the key to sorting out our politics is to have people who have currently got no political agency whatsoever inspired to the comprehension that they're actually able to have some political agency. That's the task. So all of these fuckers that have gone around for the last 10 years insisting that we need to be absolutely obsessed with their esoteria need to take a long hard look at themselves. You know, if they understand the theory, if they understand about exploitation of capital, then perhaps they should go and try to help the people who are currently the most exploited by capital. Those people more commonly known as the working class. And the working class are made up of all colours and creeds and whatnot. So it's like, you know. But, you know, bourgeois exceptionalism and bourgeois consciousness, you know, is a problem because it allows people to just totally and utterly compartmentalise and hide from reality. I'm not putting that interview on because I look about a stone and a half later. I got all these comments on TikTok this morning. I've got all these detractors on TikTok. They're all calling me a fat bastard, telling me I need to go on a diet. I must admit, I was a bit dented by that. I'm no bothered. I like my puddings. I tell you what, who's that person? I don't know if they've never appeared on my lives or that, but they follow me. I think they're called Peas or something. They live in Germany as well. I think they make these cookies. It's like I was like, man, you've never seen cookies like this in your life. I was like salivating looking at them. So yeah, these folk are saying the ICJ stated that it was the ICJ said, like, don't entertain these people. That alone, if what is Scotland saying? Scotland is essentially, the Scottish government are essentially saying, doesn't matter what the ICJ say. What can be said about this? I don't know what to say. It's like we've just passed through into some complete realm of insanity, really, you know. The Scottish Government decision to ignore this obligation and instead deepen ties with Israel is abhorrent to the Scottish people, more especially at a time when Israel is awaiting trial before the ICJ for allegedly committing genocide at this moment in Gaza. There's no allegedly about it, but we understand that technically they have to have it technically ratified or whatever. No excuses are acceptable. Angus Robertson must resign with immediate effect. The Holyrood cross-party group Building Bridges with Israel must be dissolved until Israel is in compliance with international law. Sign the petition here. Respect for international law Angus Robertson must resign, Action Network. Well, totally. And what's this person saying? Action Network. Well, how many people have signed it? 412 signatures collected. I would encourage everybody to share this. What is the least that you can do? The least that you can do. You know, we used to have these posters everywhere and these signs like, you know, not in my name. That, you know, not in my name. Sign the petition. Sign the petition. You always like these kind of these Zionist bot accounts, like, you know what I mean, with like hardly any followers or whatever, just like, you know, anonymous profile, you know. What's David Henry saying? I visited on Tuesday. It seemed much quieter than last year. Well done, Edinburgh City Council. Your lays and clamp down on short-term lets and student accommodation plus potholes have damaged the festival cash cow. That is also correct. Scott Arthur's insane policies, these bureaucratic weirdos, they've crushed businesses, and, you know, even for the monopolies that are in there to getting loads of the dollar out of it, like they've totally and utterly ransacked the city. There's a lot of people. You'll notice there's a very knee-jerk reaction from liberals whenever there's any criticism of like the 15-minute city or the 20-minute city stuff, or discussion about the WEF or the Economic Forum and all this kind of thing. Anybody that kind of talks about those concepts, if you're seen as a sort of structuralist or it seems that anybody that wants to raise questions about these institutions or organisations is very readily dismissed as like a conspiracist or a tinfoil hat wearer or this kind of thing. I disagree with that. I don't think that that's correct. I think that these policies and these programs are potentially extremely sinister, and that we should be we should be far more critically observant as to what's going on here with some of these programs that are being rolled out. Even if what we are being subject to is the kind of, which is again is a possibility, is the sort of like bizarre expression of surplus capital, but this time in the form of like a green capital, if you want, you know what I mean, where it's like we're going to suddenly impose lots of infrastructure that's about promoting active travel and cycling at the expense of carbon emissions in vehicles and stuff. Even if it's just like a cack-handed, harebrained sort of program of urbanisation via like a capital surplus program that's occurring in that sense. So it's not so much like a sort of sinister authoritarian program that's kind of under at play, and it's more just about large pools of capital altering the fabric and structure of our environment because it's in the interest of certain sections of profiteers. Whatever the reasons for it, it's fucking everything up. Right? It's totally fucking everything up. And we need to be thinking about, you know, how we can do this. You know, as I've mentioned before, that I'm going to put on this public talk soon, and I'll be covering some of these issues there as best I can with my limited comprehension of things. This is inconsequential Westminster gossip, but Stephen Flynn hasn't tweeted since the photo. Reckon he sees a political opportunity here, as he has aspirations for leadership. Well, whether he does or he doesn't, it's leadership of what, you know? You know, they've shown their hand here with this situation. Why should people have a principled solidarity with the Palestinians Why should people fundraise? Why should people do whatever they can if their own government is going to undermine them by inviting the Israelis to tea? And then not telling us about it, and then only really telling us about it when they get found out for doing it, you know? There's fencing outside the parliament, where the Palestinian Solidarity Camp was. No out of hand posters on it. Grass growing back, no weeds. Did you notice that the young team that put their little Palestine cap? I mean, I went down there. I actually took a really beautiful picture. I thought it was a really pretty picture. You know, I went along. These are young people. You know, these are folk that are like, you know, they're just kids. You know, and they you know, they are they are, what are they going to do? You know, they're doing what they can. You know, they're young student type people. They mean well, and they set up their camp. You know, and then they all those fences and stuff are like, you know, they obviously like, they're like, yous are getting shifted from here. Where was it? Open with preview. That's where it was. You know? Can't see that either. Some girl had made this umbrella, like, you know. I got talking to them, like, you know, they're just young students. But, you know, this, like, it's like this kind of sense, like, no, we can't have this. We can't have this. We need to clamp down. And it's just an example of a political class with no integrity, with no ability, and ultimately no humanity, no morality. The difference is that everything is about to change by around 2030 with AI. We also have humanoid robots within 15 years. I don't know about that. I think AI poses interesting implications and questions, but I'm not oh, here we go. Hold on a second. I didn't check my. Wow, I have. See that, right? 131 viewers currently on X. Like, you know what I mean? Who are yous? There's 131 of yous, right? And yous are fucking just staring at me. Oh, what's he saying? I ken what my analytics are for years. That's a program all in itself. Easy for the Scott Gov to not get played by not playing at all. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yeah. Would the world survive without these two world statesmen? That's a good point. Perhaps the globe requires Robertson and Swinney to maintain their positions because the entire ecosystem of the planet would collapse without them. Apparently Ross Greer has written to Swinney accusing the SNP of hypocrisy. It's all over now. They've lost Beaker. Yeah, Greer. All AI will do is help guide the IDF missiles better. Yeah. It is a pretty umbrella. It was a pretty picture that, but you know, they've been moved on. Move along. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Palestine. What's that exactly? What was that? What was that? There we are. Douglas Hensel. Still the weirdo nonce is still chiming in. Fuck off, you Raj. Right. It's 11:05. really not organised the day. What can we play out on? I'm going to disappear for the day. It's once again. It has been fun. Fun as always. What have we got here? Terribly unorganised. That saves me having an X account for another week. Hostage, say what? Hostage, what? Give me a. Seen all the push I need to. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or a criticism, critique or compliment. Right. Well, listen. I have enjoyed seeing you all once again this morning. The Laird put a nice reggae tune up the other day. Then I'll play that. I take it that's person single. Where was it? Where are we? Good pish. Aye. The only pish we could want. Cheers, Bob. Take care, everyone. Yeah, I hope everyone has a lovely day. I'll be back tomorrow. I will return tomorrow. Let me see. I've got Laird put a nice reggae track up. Where was that? Here we go. Bible Chat Tory Rebel. And
Wix gives you the power of AI to
Just
build the
stop that
website
there.
you need. With full
right, okay. People, my people. Little more, yeah, bless up. Have a nice day.
Man fi no job. From you I live up as a soldier. You know hear me I say man fi no job. From you I buffalo soldier. That's why I say highly, 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 Selassie high. Highly, 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 high. Emperor highly, high. So, and I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written. Within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof? No job. From you I live up as a soldier. You don't hear me I say man fi no job. From you a buffalo soldier. That's why I say highly, 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 Selassie high. Highly, 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 high. Emperor highly, high. So, and no man in heaven nor on earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders said to me, weep not. No, Jah. From you I live up as a soldier. When I hear me I say man fi no Jah. From you I buffalo soldier. That's why I sing highly, 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 Selassie high. Highly, 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 high. Emperor, emperor, oi, oi. Behold the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David have prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain. Judge it. No, Jah. From you I live up as a soldier. When I hear me I say man fi no Jah. From you I buffalo soldier. Help me now and sing highly, 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 Selassie high. Highly, 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 highly. Selassie I. The kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents. The king of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. Yea, all the kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him. For he shall deliver the needy when they cry. No Jah, from you I live up as a soldier. When I hear when me I say man fi no Jah, from you a buffalo soldier. That's why I sing. Remember, Jesse had a son called David. David had a son called Solomon. He said he was the wisest man. And Solomon met Queen of Sheba. And here comes Menelik, the son of the wise. He was king of Ethiopia.